Yeah, I'm recording.
Okay, cool. All right, so welcome everyone. Let me just put this in everyone's view. Maybe all of our pretty faces because of Christian. Okay, cool. So Angela's here. She doesn't know anything. Just clicked on your link. Still have to watch the videos you've emailed. Okay, awesome. So what we would like to do is basically give you guys an overview of the journey, what it looks like. I had an awesome, by the way, interview today with Dan Holloway, who is a member now for about 6 months. And about a month or so after he joined our community, quit his job, and not for the reasons you might think. It wasn't that he replaced his income or anything like that. He just really had a knowing that if he could dedicate as much of his time into this versus splitting that time, building someone else a life and business, that was a decision he made. Now, that's not a decision that everyone needs to make. It was just really, really amazing to hear from him about that. So I want to give you just an idea of what this journey looks like. I think, did we lose Christian? Oh, no, he's on here. Okay. I want to give you an idea of what this journey looks like and what you guys are potentially signing up for. And Steve's been with our community for quite some time. So Steve, if there's anything that you'd like to share, would love for you to comment there as well. Guy and I, and Christian as well, along with our other partner, Martin, all really started around the same time. It was around end of 2010, beginning of 2011. I actually joined the party a few months late. And ultimately, in the last 5.5, nearly 6 years of working this kind of business,
Christian needs those co-hosts also for you. Otherwise, you can't turn this camera.
Okay, there you go. I was wondering why it wasn't showing up. Oh, there you go.
There you go. Christian, you should be good now.
Yeah, Christian, you should be good. So during that time, a lot's changed. And I'm not even talking about the financial stuff. What's up, buddy? I'm not even talking about the financial stuff. Really, and this is what I spoke to Dan about, the first thing that shifts is your mindset. And one of the things that people don't understand when they join this kind of community and take on, quote unquote, starting a business, is I don't think that any of you understand the kind of personal development transformation that this leads to. Your life, the way you perceive life, your fulfillment and joy from life, the ability to live within your passions, the ability to do what you love at every given day of your life, that's truly what is being offered here. And the money obviously comes when you're pursuing that kind of stuff, but your joy for life and fulfillment will come way before you even make $1. And if you were to sit there and ask yourself, why is it that I want to make whatever dollar amount you have in your head, right? Whether it's an extra $2,000 a month or $5,000 a month, whether it's $10,000 a month. If you literally sat back and said, why do I want to earn that money? Then I will almost guarantee that the answer that would come out of your mouth has to do with obtaining freedom. Now, for some of you, that might be freedom from a job that you hate going to every day. For some of you, it might be freedom because you've had this dream to travel the world. Others might be freedom to never have to think about money again. And for some of you, it might just be freedom to be able to work from home and spend more time with your kids. One of the things that I've been blessed to do from the day both of my children were born, I've been home every single day, other than the days that I travel, obviously. I've been home every single day. I've witnessed their entire, one is 5.5, one is 4. I've witnessed all of it. And to me, and I guarantee to any parent that's listening, there's no price tag that you can put on that. There's just none. I just did a talk for a bunch of entrepreneurs here in New York City, and I asked how many of you have kids, and probably about 40% of the room raised their hands. And then the second question I asked, okay, specifically to the people that have kids, how many of you want to spend more time with their kids? And every single parent that had kids wants to spend more time with their kids, right? It's just a natural thing. And then we buy into that our life has to look a very specific way, and that I have to commute to work, and I have to do this, and I have to do that. This alters all of that. And it doesn't happen overnight. And it's not some get rich quick, we're going to show you the 6 buttons that you magically press on your computer and money starts coming out. It's none of that. In fact, for some of you, this might be a, 2-year journey, 3-year journey, 4-year journey. And to you, I ask this: if your vision or mission or what you truly want to accomplish in life isn't worth you putting 3, 4, 5 years of effort to obtaining, this isn't the route for you. Stick to your day job, get that paycheck, and figure out a way to hate your life a little bit less. I don't know what else to tell you. Hey, sitting at home with his kid. Awesome. So that's ultimately it. Like, there is technical stuff and there is things that you will learn, just like learning a new language. Someone told me to learn a new language. If you learn 5 new words every single day, you would know how to speak that language by the end of the year. 5 new words. 5 new words. That's it. That's nothing.
That's actually pretty fundamentally sound, because even Tim Ferriss will tell you that there's keywords you need to know in any language. So 1,500 words, you're definitely conversational.
You're talking 1,800 plus words at the end of the year. If I don't think there's a person on the planet that can't learn 5 words a day.
And I would wager to say that most people probably speak less than 1,800 words 95% of the time.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So here you're going to be doing the same thing, right? Like, every day, if you learned, you don't even need to learn 5 new things a day. If you learned 1 new thing a day, that's 365 things at the end of the year that you would have learned. Trust me, you're going to be so far along on this journey. Wherever you are financially, you'll be financially, and mostly, again, that joy for life, the fulfillment that you'll have for life. Dan said something so profound today on this call. So Dan, just to give you an idea, started this journey in September. So we're now beginning of April. So he's just started his 7th month. Last month, okay, he made over $3,000. Okay. Now, to some of you, that's a lot of money. To others of you, that's no money at all. Lifestyle entrepreneurs, we've done 1.2 million, I think, in the last 15 months or so, just to give you another perspective, right? And we've been doing this for 5+ years. So Dan is well on his way. And I asked him a question. I said, what do you wish you would have known when you started this journey? And his answer was really, really great. And that is that he wished he would have known that his identity would fight him every single step of the way. And what he meant by that was, you have a certain idea of what your identity is and what your identity is capable of. When you put yourself in an environment like this, that gets tested. To have the life you want, you have to step out of what is comfortable for you. And what Dan figured out relatively early on is that every time he is afraid of something, that's his identity saying, oh, no, we can't do that. We're not capable because of some past-based thing. So he made it his mission. And he asked himself, if I was 10 times more bold right now, what would I do? And he would go do that thing. And then day in and day out, he just expanded his idea of his identity. And by doing that, he's producing these kind of amazing results. And he told me before he made his first dollar, he'd never been happier in his entire life. And he came from making 6 figures at another sales job. So I just wanted to give you guys that as like a concept and context, I should say, for what this really is. There's a million ways to make money. A million, maybe even more. How many of those are going to make you excited to wake up every morning? How many of those allow you to make a gigantic impact in the world? And I would venture to say that money, when it boils down, is not the thing that creates that happiness and fulfillment in your life. There's a study done that said after someone earns $70,000, every dollar or $1,000 they make above and beyond that is marginally affecting their happiness. Because up until that moment, it's just, basically creating a comfortable lifestyle. So for some of you, I saw someone here, James Ryan, who's 63 years old, right? I can't wait 3, 4, 5 years. Really? What else are you going to do, James? What else? The next 3 to 4, 5 years are coming, whether you do something about them or not. Are you living a fulfilled life right now? Are you ecstatic by what it is that you're doing?
Yeah,
do you wake up pinching yourself every morning being like, I can't believe this is my life?
And I'll interject, we could show scientifically that people's rate of joy goes up when they become students again in life. For so many people, boredom, it's like the monotony of every day, of knowing what's coming. I often say to our students, I'm like, if you ever catch me saying, when people ask you how your day is, if I ever say same old, go grab your car and just run me over. I'm not committed to that kind of life. I could tell you that since we've been on this journey for about 6 years, and Elon and I have been in the personal development world as students and both as teachers, 15 and 10 years respectively, or 10 years, maybe even a little bit more. Every day is exciting. I don't want to know what my day looks like. I don't want the monotony of every day. I don't want comfort. I don't want excuses. I want always to have a reason to study and be interested by something and to lean into things that are uncomfortable, because that's where joy is. And if you look at the way that kids operate and their effortless joy, it comes not from the certainty of life. It comes from the joy of discovering what's new in every single day. I'm even looking at this panel over here. Christian's sitting at home with his kids. Elon's at home in New York. So Christian's in Sweden. I'm out here in San Diego. Elon's out in New York. Elon gets to see his kids every day. I'm not married, but I live in paradise. I get to travel the world and do the things that I really want to do. Christian's traveling all the time. And, we all are in the process of continuously creating the life that is within and beyond our imagination. Like, my life today is better than what I could have imagined it 3 or 4 years ago. I knew that there would be freedom available. I knew that I could go create whatever I wanted. But guys, let's make things a little bit more realistic. I think people get into this industry and become weirdly obsessed with becoming millionaires. And if that's your goal, that's cool. Then be driven and get nuts and get into, get immersive in your education. That's awesome. For your average person, I think the average income in the United States is like $24,000. Okay. That's below poverty, but let's say even $50,000, $60,000 per family. Still, for a lot of people, the income that they need to continue their lives the way they are. To get online and replace $40,000, $50,000 of income, whether that's supplemental and in addition to what you're already doing, or to completely replace it, for me, is completely viable. If you're not achieving that, you're not working very hard. You're just not doing shit. So, I always say, if you're not getting results, you're either lying about what you're doing or you're just not doing it.
Yep.
Right? You're either doing the wrong stuff and you're lying about it, or you're just not doing anything and you're lying about it. Because I've never seen anybody in this industry who sticks with the education, that can't eventually figure out what they need to do. And what you need to do is basically run ads into a system and figure out how to make the traffic that's coming through quality. So it fits, basically. You need congruency. You can't put the wrong puzzle pieces in the puzzle, basically. That's a skill that, with immersion, I believe anybody can learn in 3 to 6 months. Right? And then it's optimizing that skill takes a lifetime. Like mastery of any skill takes a lifetime, and you'll always get better at it. And as you get better at it, your results will get better. So if you stop taking the pressure off of like, I need to go and make millions of dollars or this isn't successful, and you just look at what are the base things that I need to cover in order to change my life. Because guys, if you're making $50,000, $60,000 a year online, and that's what you're earning right now, regardless of the fact that you're not upgrading your financial life necessarily, you are upgrading the quality of your life. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know how many of you guys can go to your boss and say, hey, I'm taking the next 2 weeks off. I don't want to work. Or that you automate processes in your life so that instead of having to work 8 to 10 hours a day, you can work 2 to 4 hours a day. And when it comes to the digital atmosphere, to the digital ecosystem, all that stuff is completely possible. That's not like a pipe dream. That's a real thing. So that alone is transformation for most people. Now, I agree with Elon 100% that if your only goal is financial, I think you're massively limiting what's really possible for you. Because part of, I think, what's an unexpected result for most people as they enter this space is how important their personal education becomes to them. Because you'll immediately, most likely, have the realization that 99.9% of our students have is that the growth of your business is in direct correlation to your personal growth. Now, if you get that, the quality of your life goes way, 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 way up as you become more conscious. And that starts impacting all sorts of areas of your life far beyond just your financial, including your relationships, your relationship to your own health, your relationship to your own communication, to your own self-expression, to every area of life that honestly I believe is of crucial importance to a human being. I think that those side effects are even more profound than the money. We have plenty of people in the company who money is not their top priority. Purely the quality of their life, the community they get to spend the time in, the type of conversation that they get to have, and how they're growing is their number one priority. And that's awesome. And neither one's more right than the other. If your only goals are financial, awesome. Whatever it is for you, that's cool. So I'm saying all this because I want to set proper expectations. I don't believe in any system that's telling you that they can make you rich overnight. Which is bullshit. It's hyperbolic. It's nonsense. It's a nice pitch on the front end, but what they're setting you up for is failure. Because you're going to come in with a false expectation of when things are supposed to happen. And when those expectations are not met, you are going to be like an upset child, kicking and screaming, telling everyone to go fuck themselves. So we don't want you to come in, even though some of you guys might get those results really quickly. It would just be stupid to say, hey, everybody's going to get those results. What I would prefer you walk in with these kind of experiences is, hey, I'm here to invest in myself to increase the quality of my life, whatever that looks like. And I'm committing to, I would say minimum a year, because if I asked you, hey, you want to go back to school so you could go master something, whether it's finances, economics, psychology, I don't care. You're not going to walk into a college education or a mastery program and say, I'm here for 30 days. I better be a master of something in 30 days or this college doesn't work. Nobody goes to college for 30 days. They go to college for 2 to 4 years. And I don't know about you guys. I got a college education I spent $200,000 on. It has returned literally nothing to my life. And in fact, when the day came where I got my degree, and this was a while ago, I might look young, but it's been a while since I've been in school, about 12 years. The degree came, I handed it to my father. He says, why are you giving it to me? I'm like, so you know what you paid for. Because I'm not going to be using this thing. And that's just what happened. And it's kind of the sad reality of the way the system works today. If you want to be a worker bee, yeah, I can still see college being beneficial. If you want to specialize as a doctor, there's some specialty like that. Sure, you got to go, right? I don't want a doctor working on me that like got a degree in a 30-day program online, clearly. But when it comes to like mastery of self, that's a self-driven boat, right? There's plenty of resources for you guys out there between meditation and all sorts of other experiences that can help you grow as a person. This is a really good option. This might look like a business opportunity on the front end, but it's really a transformative company. It's a community of people who come together to have conversations that are much bigger than what's happening in the news today, or obsessing over what Katie's wearing, today, and making fun of her and gossiping. So you could say there's 3 levels to conversation. It's talking about people, talking about events, or talking about ideas. If you want to grow as a person, you need to be involved in conversations that have to do with talking about ideas. And that's exactly what we are here today. So we use marketing as a vehicle because we understand that for you at some point, as you grow, sharing becomes of critical importance. And in order for you to share with the greater public, and honestly, once you've dealt with your own survival issues, you're going to want to make a difference for people. One of the ways you do that is by being able to communicate clearly to people who need to hear your message. And that's what marketing does, is it allows you to attain the skill of putting the right message in front of the right people so that you can communicate with them and make a difference for them in the quality of their lives. This is a people-driven business. We are here to increase the quality of people's lives.
Yeah. So two questions. Angela, I'll get to your question in a second. Stacy asked a very interesting question. She says, how do you block out the distractions and stay focused? I want results now. Am I wrong for that? Okay, so a couple of things. One, the distinction you want to understand is that the part of you that wants results now is always the ego. It has nothing, your heart, when it comes to what your heart wants and what your heart creates, there's very, very little in the form of time restrictions that it puts on it. Your heart just wants you to feel really good. Your heart wants you to be happy. Your heart wants you to be fulfilled, wants to be pursuing passion. You ever notice that when you're doing something that you're passionate about, time ceases to exist? And I'm talking even a conversation with someone that's really, really amazing, where it feels like you've been there for 5 minutes and you look at the clock and 3 or 4 hours have gone by. That's what I'm talking about. You can live from that place all day long in that flow. So first thing I would tell you is that make the distinction that when you get impatient, and Stacey, I don't know if you have kids, but like realize that there's a 5-year-old version of you inside of you. And that's the impatient person. And if you continuously listen to that impatient person, it will produce the same results that you've produced so far in your life. And if those results aren't the results that you're looking for in the future, then that's something that you want to get handled. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is, the reason I find people get distracted is because they don't have a clearly defined vision or goal. If you know exactly the bullseye that you're aiming for, and that bullseye, or hitting that bullseye, gets you all jazzed up and tingly inside, distractions don't seem to come. The people that don't have a clear goal and are like, I kind of think I sort of want this, or their goals are super vague, like, oh, I just want to make more money. It's not a goal. You know, that's like the same thing like, oh, I just want to lose weight. How does that work out for you? Now, let me give you another example. You know that you're going to go on vacation in 3 months, and it's going to be in Hawaii or the Bahamas, and you got to get in your bathing suit. And more than that, it's a destination wedding. So all your friends and family and people that you know will also be there. Do you have to think very hard about losing weight? Does dieting become the natural way that you operate? Does going to the gym just happen naturally? You somehow more motivated, working harder, right? Because you have a clear goal with a set time. By July 4th, I'm going to be on this beach in front of these people. I want to look like this. You get that idea real clear in your head. Now, the next time you go to pick up a piece of chocolate after dinner, you kind of think twice, right? Life is full of distractions. Full of distractions. Our goal is to transform the lives of 100 million people by the year 2020. I don't got time to fucking be distracted. And I'm deadly serious about making that a reality, right? So my downtime is reading books that make me better, listening to audio and podcasts that make me think differently. That's my downtime, right? Otherwise, I'm interacting with people, having these kind of conversations, waking people up around the planet that there are other options. So Stacey, what I would tell you is, first, see if the goal that you are trying to achieve is very, very clear. That's the first thing. Then from there, create a timeline backwards, right? Exactly. Like if you were trying to lose weight, for example, and July 4th was your date, you knew that between now and then you have, let's say, April, May, June. So you have basically 3 months, okay? So you would work backwards. Okay, if I wanted to lose 30 pounds by July 4th, that means, let's say if you were splitting it up, even in 3, that means losing 10 pounds per month every single month. Now, if you were doing no exercise whatsoever and someone said to me like, I'm going to start going to the gym 5 times a week, I'd be like, that's fucking bullshit. You're not. You're just not. You're not going to go from sitting on a couch to being the most active person 5 times a week. That's not a reality. You know what would be a reality? I'm going to walk this week for 15 minutes every single day. That's doable. Easy. I'm going to remove alcohol, or I'm going to remove sweets or sodas or sugar from my diet for this week. Very doable, simple, right? So the issue becomes when it's a huge mountain, like I want to create $10,000 a month business, you don't even know the first step of that. What generates revenue for you guys, I wanted to switch the concept of about money. Money is the amount of impact and value you add to the world. The more impact you have on the world, the more value you add to people's life, the more money will be in your bank account. Now, the reason that people on paychecks are very limited in what they're able to do is because someone tells you what your impact and value is. And by the nature of that game, they at most will pay you 20 to 25% of your value because they need to cover all of their expenses and make money off of you. Now, when you do it on your own, you remove all of that stuff. So now you earn 100% of the value and impact that you deliver in the world. And that's, again, this is the opportunity. So Stacey, I know you said, yes, you're right. I just hope that that answers your question. And then, bro, do you want to, I know you already put that in there, but Angela was talking about financial freedom. What's the process? How did they get started? So maybe let's just cover that.
Say more about what that is. What do you
Angela just asked about what the process is and how do they get started.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So like in the logistical way, we have so generally what we do is we like to take an application, right? Because we do it for 2 reasons. Number one, we want to just separate people who are like kicking tires and just trying to grab information, but aren't all that serious about really working. And again, as you guys kind of notice, like a lot of this conversation is about setting proper expectations, and not because we want you to like let yourself down. It's in fact, we want you to feel quite empowered and set yourself up powerfully for how you're going to approach business. So part of that is also understanding who you are, what your goals are, where you are in your experience, how you're entering the business. And then here's the beautiful part, and this is kind of what you want to stay conscious of, is as you enter the company and have this experience, notice that it's not Elon or Christian or Martin or any of these guys doing what's coming next. 6-figure mentors, if you think of them as like a done-for-you system, they take care about 90% of everything. Your job is to send quality traffic into the system, generate lead flow, generate app sales, and then the system takes over. So from this part, once you take the application, the system's actually taking over. Now, we have people, because we actually want you to interact with real people, but there are business development coaches that this is all they do, is interact with people like you day in and day out, help you create game plans, help you set yourself up powerfully, and give you the exact directions of exactly what you want to do next. If we gave you everything at once, the only thing that would do for your brain is create overwhelm and frustration. And then, like Elon said, that's like, I want to lose 150 pounds, but instead of focusing on the first 3 pounds, you're just focusing on all 150 pounds at one time. So what we've done is we've broken it down to a 5-step modular system. And Stuart Ross is going to take you through the setup process of the system. Is going to take you through, again, what you need to do at the initial steps. And then what you'll get access to is, as you go through these modules, is the live training programs that are available to the entire community that are there on a daily and weekly basis. Elon and I actually train the entire community, both in mindset and in marketing. We're one of the mentors of the company. There's also other additional mentors who are leaders, including the leaders and co-creators of the company. And that's kind of how you get started in this world. And slowly but surely, like Elon said, we introduce concepts to you. We introduce terminology and language to you. And as you start picking up on this specialized terminology. It's what gives you access and empowers you to really start taking actions that are going to make a difference in your business. And I hope that's a good explanation of what you need to do at the initial steps.
Yep.
Hey guys.
Awesome. All right. Is there anything else you guys wanted to cover today?
Christian just wanted to pop in here.
Okay. Come on out, buddy.
All right. So, Guy, can you tell a bit?
We hear you, but you're very, very low.
Okay. Hold on. Is it better?
Yes.
Okay. Great. I'm on a PC right now, as you know. Yeah, Guy, can you tell a bit more about the SFM, what it can do for people? Because obviously, I mean, SFM is an affiliate company, but also a training company. So a bit more about the end vision for the company, what the company wants to do for people in the end. Because I know there's people on this live that maybe haven't got so far into our video series.
Sorry, I'm just meeting up because I'm at a coffee shop. See, being a coffee shop entrepreneur is a real thing. I mean, I work out of a coffee shop about 2-3 times a week. My brother doesn't always like it, but I need to get out of the house once in a while because of all the background noise, and it just makes me feel more connected and human than working at home constantly. So it's amazing. Everyone wants to be a home business entrepreneur. I just want flexibility. I want to work from the beach. I want to work in coffee shops, and this is one of my favorite ones. So as far as the vision of the company, I like to think of us as a transformational, educational community. Okay, I think this world is dying for people who are having bigger conversations than what did I eat for breakfast and what's the weather like, because that doesn't transform your life. So what I love about this community is, number one, it's global. As you guys can tell, we're at 3 different locations right now. You know, you don't have to adjust your ears. Christian really is not from America, but that's beautiful. That's what I love, is that we get to connect with people from all over the world who are up to something, and we're engaged in conversations weekly that have to do with how do you advance and transform your life, not just financially, but like your well-being. And you know, we have students that come in all the time, and the level of support they feel in their lives from community members is probably one of the things that astounds them the most. It's like they're suddenly part of this giant global family of people who just give a fuck. Wow, what a freaking transformational concept that is, right? So a lot of us we are in our communities at home, or we haven't, like people don't leave where they're born from, and that's really the only ideas they're kind of exposed to. And that creates a certain limitation. Again, nothing wrong with that. It just creates a certain limitation in what's possible for you. So yes, there's a business aspect of it, right? And like, if you start thinking of like marketing and sales, really in a more like communication type of paradigm, what you're really increasing is your ability to communicate clearly something that impacts people, and then gives them a choice as to whether or not they want to take that path. So if you take all the business jargon out of it, like marketing and sales, here we are, right, guys, talking to you. And notice how we're not pitching your system. We're not like, join the system, make money. We're like, these ideas can influence yourself and your life in ways that can dramatically impact the way that you live your life. If you guys are called to that, like there's a good feeling like in your body, it probably feels like expansion or like lightness or something like that. I invite you to be one of these people that takes action today, because something about this is ringing true for you. And I also invite you that you don't have to know everything right now to make that choice. Part of like the excitement of life is like taking the journey to find out why you're on the journey in the first place. I know it is for me. Like most of the things I do today, I'm like, I don't even know why I'm doing it. I just know I'm supposed to be here right now. And while I'm in the mode, I'll figure out why the fuck I'm here in the first place. So it's kind of one of those things where if you're in this, who I believe this is for. If you're in a place where you want to grow as a person, this is for you. If you're in a place where you really don't have any other options on how you're going to change your financial life because you have a certain level of education, or you've worked a job for a long period of time and you're like, I don't know what my other options are, this is for you. Like, so maybe you're not going to stay with us for the next 15 years. I don't know. Maybe you pop in and 6 months from now, you're like, this is really cool, but this is not exactly my community. But thank you so much. Like, it actually opened my eyes to what's possible. And then you go find something that's more important to you. I don't know. Maybe we're a stepping stone for you. Maybe we're everything to you. Maybe we pull you out. Like, who knows what your journey is going to be like? I have to assume if you're on our list, something about what you saw in terms of transformation is what got you here. And what you really, really want is the experience of freedom, maybe for the first time in your life. I don't know what your experience is. So I can't promise you the world. However, I do know what this environment allows to open up for people. And what happens next is completely up to you once that occurs. So, yeah, I think I kind of mentioned it before. Christian, thank you for the question. I hope I'm answering it. I know I kind of go on these like rants. I'm really here just more than like making fucking false promises to you, is to inspire you that if you want change in your life, if you want to transform, something needs to alter. If you're going to keep doing the shit that you've done, then the results are predictable. To get the results that you've never gotten before, you need to become somebody you've never been before. The actions that you're going to take are going to be consistent with that state change, and that leads to a whole new life. And we see that. I mean, we've been in this company for almost 6 years now. It's something that we consistently see time and time again. Transformation happens for people, and that journey is different for absolutely everybody. We don't know your circumstances. We don't know how much money you have in the bank. We don't know your capital. We don't know your level of investment. We don't know what stops you in life in terms of like failure or anything else, right? Like, there's all these variables that we just don't know. And even if we knew them, we still wouldn't be able to predict your timeline. But here's what I know. People who commit to a process of mastery, and that's what this is. Anybody, whether that's the violin, piano, business, relationships, self-love, sex, I don't care. If you commit to a process of mastery, you will transform your life. And this is one of those locations where you can transform the quality of your life, your relationships, your finances. Everything is possible out of the education that you get with this community. So that's my spiel. I left the room silent and muted. You're both muted and you're both talking. It's hilarious.
Thank you, bro. So yeah, I know this call, we should go into how we actually earn those amounts of money we did, right? But I believe the conversation we have had so far is very important for people to understand. And I've seen people leave this call as well. I'm just checking the numbers, and that's awesome, because if they cannot stand to hear the truth of what it actually takes, they shouldn't be here, right? Because I mean, we have been here for so many years, and there's actually two things that we see as the biggest reason for why people fail or not fail. They give up, right? But it's all about patience, right? If you go into a business, there's some kind of thing going on in today's society where it's instant gratification, where people want things now. And it's like you said with the education. I mean, do you believe that you can build a six-figure business in 3, 4, 5 months? If you just look at a local business, like an offline business, if you can be profitable within 5 years with, paying rent, taking loan on the bank and everything, you should be happy. And obviously, if you play your cards right online, it doesn't take 6 years. Of course not. But you need to have patience. We have seen people, they invest 50, 60K in a business online, but then they don't do anything with it, right? And it's so funny to see it. And it's like you said, it's because they don't need it. It's like, you go to the gym. Yeah, I'm going to train myself. 2 weeks later, no, I'm not going to do this anymore.
Yep.
It's, they don't need it. I mean, when I started this business in 2010, I was working 12 hours each day. On the weekends, I was a DJ as well. So it was hi to my wife and kids, 3 kids. Hi, bye. I keep doing that for 3 years because I had a business went bankrupt. I was working my ass off to get things going. And some people, they start to complain, I'm not getting results in 3 months, right? It's kind of crazy. And we're going to talk about how we earn our money. We're going to talk about, and it's pretty simple. It's nothing outrageous, and it's not hard. It's kind of simple. But I don't understand it. I saw a guy, I think it was 6 months ago. He sent a message to Stuart and said, I cannot afford to spend any more money on advertising because I'm not getting the results. I think he was a member for 2 months. He said, I couldn't afford. But then I went into his Facebook. He just bought a new motorcycle. A new motorcycle. So he said I couldn't afford. It was not important for him. So either way, exactly. So if you choose that you want to have a better life for yourself, I'm talking about freedom. Money is just a byproduct of it. But freedom is the most important thing, because, I mean, you can have as much money as you want. But if you cannot be happy, wake up in the morning happy, to be able to spend times with your family, your health as well, it's no life. And the money cannot help you. Obviously, they can buy a new house, cars, stuff like that. But you're going to get tired of things like that. I mean, Elon, you know, our cars, right? Fast cars. But, you know, the first month I drove my car, it was very funny. But, you know, 3 months later, it was not that fast anymore. So now me and Martin are going to play with that car to make it even faster. You know, and what is the chemical? Endorphin, right? The body just wants more. You just want more, right? And materialistical things will not solve anything for you. Because if you remove everything, your income, your house, everything you have, what's important then? Is it your family, the people that care about you? But, you know, if you live your life, you know, building a business or employee and sacrifice time with your family, you're going to destroy that relationship with your family. And when shit hit the fan, you have nobody. It's important to understand that. So inside of the SFM, we are not having just a conversation with, you know, about money. Of course, it's amazing to earn a lot of money every year. But they are not important if you haven't put the whole structure together. It's so important to have everything. And then we are talking about purpose. You know, why do you wake up in the morning? Are you just waking up to make money? You know? Yeah. And most people do that. They go to a job because they need the money, right, to pay their bills. And I totally get that, because the whole society is built on that process. But if you want to build a business and, you know, maybe create, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50K a month, you need to start to rethink how you do stuff from day to day and take action. And obviously, there's a lot of things to learn. So what we do in the SFM, I mean, SFM is an affiliate company, and we sell their products and services, and we are happy doing that because that was the company that helped us from the beginning, right?
Correct.
So our job here is to refer customers to that company. The only thing we do is share what we are doing. You are on our list because you found an ad out there. And we are sending you emails. We are giving you videos, free video stuff. We're sending you different emails, having webinars like this, and just give you value and having the conversation to build a relationship with you. And if you're happy and like us, maybe you buy something from us. That's how it works, right? Affiliate marketing is about sharing some, you know, products online. And if you learn how to share products online and market them, you advertise, and then you learn how to build relationships with people, people gonna start to like you and gonna be interested in what you have if you choose to, you know, to show the ads to the right people from the beginning. That's the only thing we do here. And obviously, the other side of the SFM is, like Guy said, the education. And the education in SFM is not just created for us to become good at market the SFM, you know? It's just a starting process to start to market the SFM, because this is the process where you can go in and learn everything step by step. At the same time, you have a job or you have another business that maybe you think is boring now. You can start doing this, spend like say an hour a day or 2 hours a day to just learn how to advertise and how to market, and let the SFM do the rest stuff for you. And that becomes a process that we call earn while you learn. Do you think you can start a business at the same time you have a job? You're going to be the sales guy. You're going to be the traffic guy. You know, you're going to be the tech guy. What is it more, guy? Customer service, coach.
Yeah,
you know,
so many hats. It's impossible.
Yeah, you should be everything. So if you have limited of time, you don't have time to do everything. You need something that is, it's going to become something, you know, you can spend your time wisely. And 1 hour to 2 hours a day is enough to learn how to advertise online, to buy media, and also how to market to these people, how to build a relationship. When you have learned this process, it becomes much easier for you to understand and get new ideas on what you can do in the future. Because there's no idea that you find an amazing product, you know, that everybody likes, right? But if you cannot show it to anybody, nobody will buy it, right? Do you want to add something to this, guy?
Me?
Hmm?
Me? Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. You know, I think for most people, even if you go start your own business, you buy a franchise, you're ill-equipped to run it. And you know, just like Christian said, go look at the statistics of starting a business. It's not pretty. And mostly to, you know, business owners, they have this kind of like rogue mentality, like I'll do it myself. And we actually see a lot of that in this environment also. And it's constantly like bringing people back, like, hey, lean on the community, like trust this, right? Like this process. Here's the beautiful part, guys. After all these years and thousands of people going through this, like we kind of know what you're going to go through. We kind of know the process, right? So like it's predictable, very much so, that when you get started, you're going to be kind of overwhelmed. It's predictable that you're going to be a little bit frustrated. If you think that that's like, that you're supposed to somehow omit that process from being human, well, we call that being human. That's what happens when we start something new. One of our favorite books to tell people to go read in the beginning is Robert Greene's Mastery. It's a book that outlines the process of mastery. And we tell people to read that for two reasons. Number one, if you read the first hour of that book and you're not completely lit up by it, this opportunity is probably not for you. Number two, it's that if you don't understand that process, you're going to think that, you know, like you're going to think like most people. There's an amazing other book called Mindset by Carol Dweck. And I recommend you go get both those books, whether you join us or not. They're just awesome books. And she makes this amazing distinction of like a fixed mindset versus a growth-oriented mindset. One of the things in society that we're doing that's actually causing more harm than good is when kids grow up, we tell them like how they're geniuses and brilliant and all these things when they really haven't done anything to garner those things, because we think by encouraging them is great. And it is. I'm not saying don't encourage your children. I'm just saying when they do well, we don't encourage the effort, we encourage the genius. Now the issue is when you grow up, as you take new things on, as adults, we have this perception that if we're not immediately good at something, we just must not be talented or we're not good at it. And that's not true, guys. Every skill is developed. I don't care who in the sports world, the art world, that you look up to, whatever it might be, creative types, people who change the world, whatever they were that you looked up to was developed over time. Now, granted, maybe there was the right environment for them to nurture those skills in, or they had the right body type, like a Michael Jordan, who was the right size, blah, 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 right? That plays a role into it, but it didn't determine whether or not they were good at that. Michael Jordan wasn't good at basketball because he was 6'6". He was good at basketball because he practiced harder than anybody else. He brought something to the game that had never been brought to the game. And every person after that that's been better or equally as good brought something new into the process. Right now it's like Steph Curry, right? That guy in the NBA. So that's what it is, guys. Like we weren't born internet marketers who are going to make millions of dollars online. We had to commit to a process. And here's the thing. I hope that you guys get, this is not about becoming an authority or telling you what to do or anything like that. We're defiantly passionate about upgrading lives, ours and other people's as well. It's been a long time since the three of us had to worry about things like survival, like putting food on the table. Now, like 4 or 5 years ago, that was a major concern for all of us. And as those things have gotten taken care of, our level of wanting to serve people has grown. Guys, for most of you, just so you know, whether you sign up today or not is really ultimately not changing the quality of our lives. You guys got that? So the reason we can talk to you so honestly is we don't give a shit about that stuff. Like today, this is all about you and what are you going to commit to or not. It's fine if this is not for you. No big deal. Really, it's really not. I have no attachment to whether you join or not. The reason I'm pointing to what I'm saying right now is I hope you guys see that we're passionate about what we're talking about, mostly because we're passionate about people's transformation. And here's the thing. Passion breeds results. Michael Jordan was passionate about his game. Gandhi was passionate about transforming that country and his people and creating peace. Anybody who's achieving something has become passionate about something. If you feel like you are lacking passion in your life, I would urge you, that's why you don't have urgency to change it. Now, if you want to find a path where you get to be passionate about something, stepping into your own development is a fantastic way of starting to reopen the door to remembering what it is that you're actually passionate about. For a lot of people in our community, they have found their passion through this process. And sometimes it has nothing to do with online marketing. Most of the time it has nothing to do with online marketing. But the online marketing is the skill that allows them to then go take that passion and turn it into a reality. So I could tell you, like, when we got into this business, like, marketing is not the sexiest thing in the world. I don't wake up in the morning and go to myself like, oh, I can't wait to learn more about marketing today. Who gives a shit about that? But as I grow and develop myself, I remember, like, before we were in this industry, Elon and I would sit around, we would mastermind, and be like, oh, such a good idea. If we could only do that, right? Like, it'd be so great. Like, our lives would be so awesome. Because it doesn't matter what widget or what idea you have. If you can't communicate that clearly to other people, that idea is going nowhere. Do you know how many great ideas have died or great products have died because people didn't know how to put it in front of people? You know how many businesses every day, like if I walk into any small business today and I'm like, why is your business failing? They're like, I don't know. I'm like, are you marketing? They're like, yeah, I'm marketing. What are you doing? My stuff is in the yellow pages. Yellow pages? Who the fuck opens the yellow pages? Right? And then it's like, well, if they would just learn marketing and sales, they would start crushing their business. That's just so. So like to have this skill that when you have an idea, whether it's something creative or business, that you can just get online, create a website and start bringing traffic to it for people who are interested in that topic. And you can build your own community, your own tribe. You can start teaching and serving people, which I believe really is at the heart of every human being on this planet. I really do believe that. That is, I think, the most invaluable skill to have today. Guys, unless the world explodes tomorrow, the internet is not going anywhere. This is the communication tool of the past, of the now, and of the future. So if you don't learn how to hone in this skill so that you can communicate to communities that you care about all around the world, whether that has to do with global warming, politics, religion, I don't care. I know those are all hot topics. Whatever it is that you want to impact, guess what? You can. You really can. And I think that's the most beautiful part about this whole journey.
Exactly. All right, guys. Anybody else have any other questions? Let me see. James Ryan. Guys, it's 9 p.m. here. I'm bailing out. I've heard all this stuff before in the intro video. Tuned in to hear about your strategies. Catch you next time. James, strategies happen inside. That's not, those are for people that are already signed up. Mikhail's asking what we studied in school. I studied economics and legal studies. Haven't used either at all. Bro?
I was finance, economics, and couldn't tell you one thing about either one.
Yep. Christian?
I was an electrician, and I worked as an electrician for 3 years. So I was not an online entrepreneur. I didn't know anything about marketing. I was a DJ as well. Obviously, I'm a social person.
All three of us are actually DJs. All right. So here's what I want to offer you guys. The easiest way to find out if this is the right move for you is simple. You pick up an application and you start going through the process. If during that 30-day process, your heart is not an absolute yes to this, just ask for your money back. We got nothing about it. I'll tell you this, you're going to miss 100% of the swings you never take. Every time. So at least to give yourself a try, come test out the community, come see what kind of training this is, and feel if this is right for you. That's all there is to do. There's nothing to think about going forward. There's nothing to think about 4 years from now. It's right now. It's invest $29.95 and commit that for the next 30 days, you go through the information and you go through the process. If you continue to do the same thing that you're doing, you will continue to produce the same results. Doing the same thing and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. Okay? So that's it. That's all we want to share with you guys today. There's really like, not, you know, if this sings to you, great, join us. If not, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. And I hope you find what it is that you're looking for. And for everybody else, make it an amazing day.
Awesome, man. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye, everyone.
Looking forward to welcoming somebody into the community.
Cheers. By the way, but guys, before we go here, when do we have next?
2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
I think we're gonna move over. Is it possible for us to invite people to Zoom instead, or do we have a limit here?
Is it possible to what?
No, if we take a meeting, I mean, it's easier for us to invite people through a link to Zoom, the same system we work with here, to get people on a meeting instead, because then we can see faces and we can send out a link and you know, send out reminders and stuff like that.
I
Because
mean, we can make it like a proper webinar, but then we can't do it live. Can we, bro?
I mean, we could do the webinar live, but it wouldn't be on Facebook.
Yeah.
So if we're putting people in the group, I think, you know, Facebook's a great option. Technically, we can do both. We can actually have people show up on the webinar and Facebook Live.
Yeah, I think so too, because we got tons of messages, you know, saying that they didn't have Facebook, and that's pretty funny, but I totally get that.
So
Okay,
we'll
so why
send,
don't we do both?
so we'll send them the registration page in the future, and we'll do both. We'll broadcast on Facebook, and we'll run it like a webinar.
Yep.
Yeah. And by the way, James, Ryan, if you're still here, we just want to have this conversation before, you know, about everything here, before we can go into strategies. And I mean, we cannot go super deep into strategies because that would be super, super boring for you, everybody. But obviously, we're going to show you how we do our business from day to day. And I told you, it's not that hard, but it is about what we were talking about today. And I think we're going to concentrate on that the next webinar. Then we go a bit deeper into that. And we're also going to upload these different masterminds into our website as well. So you can go in there and just check everything out. So if you missed any, you can see them. And we'll also post them on this group.
They'll be here. The replay will be here. Once this is done, it'll be as a video. You can watch it again.
Yeah.
Okay,
and obviously,
cool. We'll get you guys a link in the future so you can join us either at the webinar or here on Facebook.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thanks so much for coming. And again, make it an amazing day.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.